Gentlemen, do not move because that tripod will not know you moved. Calvin Castine at the American Legion Post 912. It's the 26th day of March 2022, and we're here for a 100th anniversary celebration. Knights of Columbus Council number
2366.
All right, do you agree with that, Claude?
Yes, I do.
All right, you want to be called Claude or Claude?
Whatever you call me, just don't call me late for dinner.
All right, so when you introduce the folks for dinner, make sure you mention Claude or Claude here.
You'll be the first one in line.
Father will.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, we got Arsène Letourneau and Claude Dessereau, and you each have titles with the with this law. Is it, what do we call it? Council, right? Council.
I'm the Grand Knight.
Grand Knight
And I'm the financial secretary.
and past Grand Knight.
Past Grand Knight.
10 years running, and finally somebody beat you. Well, finally somebody stood up and said, and so Arsène said, I can finally give it up.
He split his terms. He did like 4 or 5 years one time. I did 4 years in between, and then he came back and did another 4 years. And now I'm on my second go round.
Oh, okay. So you're going to try to beat his 10-year record?
No, I don't want to.
We are in the recycle mode.
Okay, 100 years. Obviously, you were just a youngster back then.
Yes, I was.
There was an Arsène Letourneau that was on that charter membership, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. It was my grandfather. Yep. Arsène Edward Letourneau. Yep.
Father of Richard,
Yes.
also known as
Butterball, Dick, Butter.
many names. And he was a proud member of the Knights of Columbus. And
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yes. Very, very active in his day. Yes. Yes. In fact, we got a letter from John Ryan mentioning both my father and mother and how the good times he had visiting our council. He was unable to come tonight, but I thought it was nice he sent a letter remembering them.
yeah, well, John, of course, tries to make all those pilgrimages to Isle of Mont. And I know for many years you had dinners here on the weekend of the pilgrimage. And your father said, Calvin, come on and record those. So I did.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
It's part of the memories we have here. So has this been a lot of work, Claude?
Yes, it has. It's I started reminding the members about 2 years ago. We got 100th coming up, so slowly it progressed, and then in the last, especially the last 2-3 months, I've been busy planning stuff. So, of course, the Green Knight's only as good as his members of the council, so they were a lot of help.
And of course, like a lot of organizations right now, your numbers are down a little bit, so you're always looking for new membership.
At one time, this council had 300 members. That was back like 60, 70, 80 years ago. Presently, we have 49, and I do have a new membership candidate that's going to be taking the degrees shortly.
Okay. And Arsène, you've been a member how long?
I'm in my 37th year. Yeah.
So
1986 is when I joined. Yeah.
about getting out of school, you joined right up? Or?
Actually, I joined the same year I became the village treasurer.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't join until after I got out of college, so yeah.
Okay. Claude, how many years for you?
I've got 45 years in.
45? Oh,
Yes.
You're just a kid then, huh?
Yeah, I think I joined when I was 19, so.
Did you join here in Rouses Point? Or
I actually joined in Champlain, and then worked on the bingo committee back then when they had it, and then I moved to Rouses Point. So I said, well, I'm going to transfer to the home council. I knew a lot of good people here, so I wanted to be part of the Rouses Point Council.
I heard nobody in Champlain objected, Arsène. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. It's just a rumor. Right?
I'll take your word for it.
100 years ago when this council was formed, you had members from many areas. There's no Champlain
absolutely.
Knights of Columbus. In fact, in looking over that list, you had Lacole.
We had actually the charter members. I got the list right here. The charter members actually came from. Let me get the right sheet here.
You should have this memorized.
I know, I don't. Champlain, Chazy, Albert, Coopersville, Moores, Lacole, and Rouses Point. It's the 105 charter members came from.
So 105 charter members, 1922, and here we are 100
Second,
years.
our actual charter was granted on April 2nd, 1922.
So it's a week from now, roughly? I think it's a
Yes,
week from
yes,
today. I think.
yes.
So any
Yeah,
reason,
it is, yes.
Did you have any reason why you didn't shoot for the second?
They were booked here, so
Oh.
I had to take the closest available weekend.
You could have called up whoever had it booked to say,
I guess
move your date.
it was either a bridal or baby shower. I don't know which one it was. So.
He didn't pray enough to get the right date, so.
Now, if Arsene was still a grand night, we'd been here on the second. You know, right, Arsene?
Absolutely. Or at least April 1st.
Do you have a full officer list? You have enough people to show up at meetings to have all of your officers?
Yeah, lately we've been, especially because we've been planning this, actually when you got 49 members and you got 8 to 10 that show up for a meeting, you're doing well.
Yeah, right. That's a good percentage when you think of that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, for those of people out there who've never heard of the Knights of Columbus or have heard of it but don't know what it is, can 25 words or less, one of you want to tell me what the Knights is? Or,
We're the right arm of the church. We do everything for church first and community. So we do fundraisers. We donate a lot of our money that we take in, and it's basically church is important to us.
okay, they were founded as a national organization in 18 what? By Father McGivney. I'm thinking 1880s.
87,
87.
82 or 87.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember right offhand right now.
Yeah.
I think 82 might be right because I'm a member of the Woodmen of the World, and we're a fraternal order, and we were founded in 1890, and I know the Knights of Columbus was going strong before we were. And one of the things that people don't understand with fraternal orders is back in the 1800s when they were founded, a big part of it was the fact that they would offer insurance to their members because
Absolutely, yes.
if the member died, the family could be taken care of because you didn't have insurance guys knocking on your
Yes.
door every week asking to buy
Well,
insurance.
that was Father McGivney's original plan to help the widows of deceased members or Catholic members. So he wanted to start this to help widows of Catholic gentlemen back there.
And I know you still sell insurance to membership, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes,
Yep,
yes.
yep.
If you're not a member, you can't get it. So, so they're not going to go knocking on your door looking for it because if you're a member, then you're entitled to.
Yeah, you're asked when you join to consider taking the insurance,
But
and
you don't have to.
you don't have to. No.
But it is one of the top-rated insurances in the country.
Yeah, I know when I was at Woodman, we were always nip and tuck as far as top quality, and because of fraternal order, you don't have a board of directors to answer to as far as and,
Yes,
stockholders and all that
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So you're able to give back to your membership the money that you take in and don't spend. So
Right.
being a fraternal order gives you that extra advantage. And you think back and look at names like the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elk. I'm sure the Elks Club started out, I'm guessing, as a similar way. That protective part, I assume, was for the members to have some insurance if they should pass on. So it's an important part of the history, but now you've become so much more than that. And I think very few people think of Knights of Columbus and think of insurance. You're thinking of active arm of the Catholic Church.
Well, there's one item that the Supreme Council is doing right now, which I think is very nice, is that until the end of the month, any donations made to help the people in Ukraine, up to $500,000, the Supreme Council will match those donations, and then they'll make sure the money's sent where it's supposed to be sent. So it's very nice.
Yeah, we're in the middle. For people watching this in future years, we're hoping there's going to be future years. But right now,
Yes.
with Russia going crazy, we don't know what's going to happen. But right now, we're in the middle of this Russian invasion. About a month ago, they invaded Ukraine, and at this point in time, we don't know what's going to happen. But
Right.
those Ukrainians definitely need all the help they can get. Millions of them.
Yes. And there are brother knights in the Ukraine, so.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's a very religious
Yes.
country.
Yes, it is, yes.
Anything else that I should be asking you guys that I'm not smart enough? You said if I was holding that microphone, this is what I would ask.
I can't think of anything right offhand. Like I say, my mind's been so full of stuff lately, planning this. I'm probably bound to forget something.
Is that anything? No?
If you're a Catholic gentleman, join the Knights if you're not a Knight.
You gotta be a gentleman, though. No rowdies. So yeah, if there are Catholics out there who are interested, what should they do?
Come see us. We'll give them a forum.
How can they contact you?
My information, and especially those going to the St. Patrick's Church here in Rouses Point, my information is on the front cover of the bulletin. My phone number, my email address, and actually I have some prospect cards on the tables here tonight, and I'm going to ask people to bring them home to their relatives or somebody they may think would be a good night, and we'll go from there and see what we get.
We're always looking for members.
We need future leaders for the councils.
It'd be hard to replace you guys, but you know, I guess with youngsters, something to aspire to.
Yes.
Anything else, gentlemen?
We'll go on with our
appreciate
program
you
there
coming.
in a little bit. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Hometown Cable and yourself and your wife Judy. You guys are always active in the community, and
Very.
a lot of history you've recorded over the years, let me tell you.
Yes.
A lot of history.
Sometimes I look at something and I say, it can't be that many years ago that we recorded it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know what you're saying. Yeah. I was looking for a music CD today for my stuff, and I ran into one of my daughter's CDs that I bought from you. I think it was her 5th grade Christmas program or something. I don't remember what it was, but I said, oh my God. We got them all over the place.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We got a full program tonight. There'll be any great dignitaries besides myself over here?
Well, I got the chairman of the Board of District Deputies who's going to later on be presenting something to us from the Supreme Council. And we have the Faithful Navigator. That's the basically the Green Knight of the 4th degree members. And
a lot of I are both 4th degree members.
And Father Lewis and Father
and
will be here.
Sister Ronnie also.
Okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Mingle with your fans here, and we'll pick up on this when the presentation starts. There is a display table. This is the aforementioned Father McGivney, who founded the Knights of Columbus. We're guessing back in 1882. So that would make the national organization 140 years old this year. And they've got photos and from past ceremonies and past programs, and a nice little display table. A plaque here from the Northern Tier Chamber of Commerce. We'll kind of see what that looks like. This is probably from the 75 years. Let's see, 1998. So that was 1998, just given to the Knights in that particular year. And of course, over where they were standing, we have the original charter. I'll wander over this way past Arsene and just show you this original charter. And the Supreme Council, Knights of Columbus, and it's got 105 names in there. Arsene told me off camera there are actually 2 Laternals, George and his grandfather Arsene. So they're all listed on there. So this is from April 2nd, 1922.
I think we'll get our program started. Please stand for the invocation by Father Lewis, please.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we ask your presence with us this evening. as we gather to celebrate 100 years of faithful service, fraternity, patriotism, and faith to your people. For 100 years in this small village, Council 2366 has lived and worked to bring your love and concern to your people. It has been ever intertwined with the history of St. Patrick's Church, and for this we have been truly blessed. We ask your blessing upon us tonight as we share food and drink and community in this welcoming place. Bless also this food and drink which you give us from your bounty, and help us to remember those in our community and world who are presently troubled, especially the people of Ukraine. We ask this in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen. Please remain standing. At this time, I call upon our faithful navigator from Blacksburg, Assembly 706, Michael Whittiford.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, I have a few introductions to make. First of all, I'd like to introduce our clergy and religious that are here tonight. We have Reverend Clyde A. Lewis, Jr. He is the chaplain of our council and pastor of St. Patrick's Church. Over here. Next to Father, we have Reverend Alan Schnaub, our retired priest in Champlain. Is that right? And next to Father, is Sister Ronnie. She's a pastoral associate here at St. Patrick's Church. On the table in the middle, the guy behind the camera, is our Clay County legislator, Calvin Castine, and his wife Judy. He's also representing Hometown Cable. Our visiting Knights of Columbus members and spouses, from the Blacksburg Council 255, faithful navigator of the 4th degree, Assembly 706, Michael Wilford and wife Elaine. From Blacksburg Council 255, chairman of the board of district deputies, Don Record and his wife Don. From the Dannemora Council 2166, minor conference and C&B chairman Larry Douglas and his wife Audrey. From Champlain Council 3525, our current district deputy, Thomas Trombley, and his wife Kim. Also from Champlain Council 3525, we have the Grand Knight, Bruce West. From the Ellenburg Council 4441, Grand Knight, Daryl Gregory and his wife Christine. From the Morris Council 6136, Deputy Grand Knight Alan Miller and his wife Darlene. From the Peru Council 7273, District Warden and our next DD, Keith Kemp and his wife Shirley. We also have some spouses of our deceased members present. We have Elaine Cloutier, wife of Paul Cloutier. Dottie Manor, wife of Edward Manor. Marlene Beal, wife of Arnie Beal. Mary DiBernardo, wife of Frank DiBernardo. And Joyce Ryan, wife of Ken Ryan. Our current officers present here tonight Our Grand Knight and former District Deputy Claude Desero and his wife Suzanne. Our Deputy Grand Knight George Rivers and his wife Peggy. Financial Secretary and past Grand Knight Arsene Letourneau and wife Rose. We have our Treasurer, past Grand Knight William Irwin Jr. and his wife Nancy.
Speech.
Outside Guard, past Grand Knight Benjamin Arnold and his wife Brenda. Trustee, past Grand Knight Robert Gatto and his wife Lucy. Trustee, past Grand Knight Stephen Barcombe and his wife Joanne. I'm not sure if he's here, but our recorder is Brian Moore and his wife Shan. We have our Chancellor Paul Jefferson. And our past Grand Knight, former District Deputy Real Bedard and his wife Sandra. This time I'd like to welcome our Grand Knight, Claude Desero, for a few welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Arsene. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone. Thank you for taking part in our 100th anniversary celebration. Please enjoy your meal. Feel free to browse through some of our mementos that we have on the display table. Take a look at our original charter. It's hard to believe it's 100 years old. Before we proceed, I put together a little short story. It's probably going to take about 2 or 3 minutes to tell it. But before I tell the story, I want to tell you what the moral of the story is first, so you know what to look for. Okay. The story I'm going to tell you is about a new member of the Knights. His name is Anthony. The moral is we're going to need more people like Anthony for future leaders of the Knights of Columbus. On your table you can see 2 prayer cards, a prospect card. Many of you have sons, grandsons, nephews, other relatives or friends. Please bring home the prayer cards and prospect cards and have your relatives or a friend complete it and return it to me or place it in the collection basket at church. And now to the story. Anthony grew up in a very Catholic family, served as an altar server while growing up, and graduated high school from a Catholic school. After graduation, as Anthony turned 18, he became a member of the Knights of Columbus. In late summer, as he was headed to college, Anthony boarded an airplane. He sat in his seat, he reached into his pocket and pulled out the rosary and the 2 prayer cards that Knights had given him when he joined. Just as he was ready to start praying, an elderly man sat next to him and looked at Anthony and said, "Excuse me, I was wondering if we could talk during the flight. Flights seem to be to go quicker when you strike up a conversation." Anthony replied, asking, "What would you like to talk about?" Of course, this elderly gentleman happened to be an atheist. The man replied, "Oh, I don't know. How about why there is no God, no heaven, no hell, no life after?" Anthony replies, "I don't agree with your thoughts, but before we talk, I'd like to ask you 2 questions." "Sure," says the elder man. Anthony then asks him, "A horse, a cow, and a deer all eat the same stuff, grass. Yet a deer excretes pellets, a cow excretes flat paddy, and a horse excretes clumps. What do you suppose that is?" The elderly man said, "I have no idea." Then he asked Anthony, "What's your next question?" Anthony replies, "I'm not really sure how to ask it."
I don't want to sound rude or offensive. The elderly man replies, be direct and just ask me in plain English. So Anthony then asked, do you really feel qualified to discuss heaven, God, hell, and life after when you... The elderly man remained quiet for the rest of the trip, and Anthony went on with his praise. Thank you.
Thank you, Worthy GK. At this time, we will resume our program after dinner. Reverend Fathers, Sister, Worthy Faithful Navigator, Worthy District Officers, Worthy Grand Knights, my brother knights, ladies, families, and friends. It is my honor and privilege tonight to help the Rouses Point Knights of Columbus Council 2366 mark its 100th anniversary of the birth of our council. Over 100 years ago, a membership drive in Champlain, Jay-Z, Albert, Coopersville, Moores, Lacole, and the Rouses Point areas resulted in 105 members being interested in requesting a charter from the Supreme Council. The Supreme Council granted a charter on April 2nd, 1922, establishing Council number 2366. As our Grand Knight mentioned earlier, that charter is on display here tonight with the names of those 105 charter members, including a relative of mine, my grandfather, Arsène E. Letourneau. Celebrating events can be a joyous time, but it is always better when we celebrate the people who are responsible for those events. Tonight is considered a double gratifying occasion because we are saluting people as well as the birth of our council. We are saying thanks and well done and congratulations. Our presence here is the beginning of that salute. We are not here because we had to come, but because we wanted to come. And we wanted to come because we wanted to be part of this occasion. We are here to honor those 105 Chartered Knights of Columbus members by dedicating this 100th anniversary celebration to them. The founding members dedicated themselves to establishing in Rouses Point the principles of charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism, the foundation stones of our order laid out by our father Michael McGivney, whose picture is over there on display. Those dedicated men did their jobs well. They built a strong foundation and made a difference in St. Patrick's Church and Parish, their council, and community. The council they established is still doing the job 100 years later. Council members have a proud heritage and much to celebrate. The charter members of Rouses Point Council 2366 chose to be an organization that would make them better Catholics, better husbands, better fathers, and better citizens. The Knights are the right hand of the church. Throughout our council's 100 years, the members have supported the needs of St. Patrick's Church and Parish along with its community. Many members have taken time out of their vacations to render services to our council, order, and community at great personal sacrifices. To quote former District Deputy Jack Dawson from a letter he sent to me as Grand Knight on the occasion of our council's 75th anniversary in 1997, he wrote, Rouses Point Council was one of the first 20% of councils of our great order. Rouses Point Council, over the years, has supplied leaders to the district, the Northern Conference, and the State Council, as well as being a springboard for the formation of many neighboring councils that have thrived today. This is a tribute to the leadership of your charter members and those many men who have followed them. Congratulations. The members of Council 2366 have provided many acts of charity throughout the past 100 years. from fundraising for the church, organizations, and various causes. These fundraisers came from many hours spent holding tombolas, bingos, sale of pull tabs, and raffles, and many, many dinners and other functions. Council rooms were used by the Catholic Daughters of America, Corps Patricia 962, youth organizations, the Clinton County Health Department, and other numerous organizations and agencies throughout the years. Visits to the sick, bereaved, and disabled have continued to be made by Brother Knights. Faith activities, including the RSVP program, have continued throughout the years. Community activities from supporting the youth and athletics continue to this day, and the continued support of life activities makes our fraternal activities complete. The effort of leaders and members of Council 2366 in the course of its history have helped the order reach its goals. I, for one, can say that I truly believe that I am a better Catholic, a better husband, a better father, and a better citizen for joining the Rouses Boyd Knights of Columbus 2366. The 100th anniversary provides us with an opportunity to extend a warm congratulations to our council and its membership on its splendid accomplishments. In closing, as we celebrate our council's anniversary tonight, may the good Lord continue to bless our council and order, and may his presence never depart from us, and may he continue to dwell under his wing. Happy anniversary, Council 2366. Here's to the next century. At this time, I'd like to, because we are talking about the history of the council and stuff, I'd like to recognize some of our past Grand Knights. They have been mentioned here tonight, but I'd like to announce the dates that they have been Grand Knights throughout the years. Our first one here tonight is Robert Gatto. He was Grand Knight. He actually served 2 terms, from 1974 to 1976, and from 2009 to 2010. Real Bedard, his office was 1977 to 1980. Myself, I served 2 terms, from 1992 to 1997, and from 2001 to 2006. Claude Desreau, he's also on his 2nd term. His first term was 1997 to 2001, and he just started his 2nd term, 2021 to, who knows? Ben Arnold, he served from 2006 to 2009. William Irwin Jr., 2010 to 2013. Steve Barcombe, 2013 to 2021.
He's an oldie. You're the old.
We have a couple former district deputies. Real Bedard was a district deputy from 2001 to 2003. Claude Desreau actually was district deputy twice, from 2003 to 2005, and from 2016 to 2018. I'd like to announce milestones for our members, 40-plus year members. John Bombardier, Christopher de Grand Prix, Edward Bastine, and Brian McGoldrick all hold 41 years of membership. Michael Gerard, 42 years. William Irwin Jr. and Randy Miller, 43 years. Claude Desreau, 45 years. Brian Moore, 46 years. William LeBombard, 49 years. Reverend Father Clyde Lewis and George Letourneau, 50 years. Clarence Ashline, 52 years. Robert Gatto, 53 years. Real Bedard, Arthur Lawrence, and Joseph Storella, 55 years. Walter Dubuque. Bernard Duffy, 56 years. Francis Stunzy, 61 years. And George Rivers, 68, does that sound right? Or is it 58? Might be a typo, I'm not sure.
78.
It's either 58 or 68. Sorry, George. Try 58. Members of the 4th Degree Assembly, 706 in Blacksburg, include Ben Arnold, Michael Bedard, Claude Desereau, Bernard Duffy, Arsene Letourneau, Reverend Clyde Lewis, and Michael Mumley.
4th degree members.
Ernestino Rodriguez, and past 4th degree members of Assembly 1884 in Moores, New York, Real Bedard and Robert Gatto. Ernesto Rodriguez, I'm sorry. I believe also too, myself was one faithful navigator of the Moores Assembly in 1884.
18.
Not in 1884, but it was Board Assembly number 1884. And I know Claude, is it chairman of the board? Are you chairman of the board? No?
Done is.
We also up here in the front here, I don't know if everybody's looked or not, but we do have a few things that we brought from the council to look at for memories throughout the years. And look at, we have proclamation from President George Bush, the first one I believe it is, during quincentennial dinner, and there's plaques and other paraphernalia that you look at can have council tonight. So at this time, I would like, representing the Clay County, our county legislator, Calvin Castine, for a special presentation.
Thank you, our son. Am I loud enough? No. No? No. You probably shut the sound off on me. No, not sure. Oh, it's got sound. Okay, I just have to get closer. This is an important date for me. 100 years ago yesterday, my father, Carl Castine, was born. So he was born in the house where I'm living right now. And I pictured that that delivery from 100 years ago. You look at that and you say, without that, myself, my brothers, my kids, my grandkids, none of those would be here. So we have to respect what the Knights of Columbus have meant to the Right to Life movement over the years, and we appreciate their efforts. We all know, no offense to your father, but it's very tough being a Catholic during Lent. We all have to choose which church dinner we're going to eat every Friday. It's a heck of a burden to put on us. We all strive through it, and we get through Lent. I have a presentation here from the county. I stuck it in my car yesterday, so I wouldn't leave home without it. It's a plaque recognizing the 100 years. It's what we call a 5-5 resolution. All 10 members are either moving it or seconding it. I won't go through all 87 whereases, but I'll read some of them. Whereas it is the sense of the legislative body to recognize and pay tribute to those fraternal organizations of high purpose and worthy accomplishment, whose endeavors have faithfully served the welfare of the residents of Clinton County. And whereas attendant to such concern and in full accord with its long-standing tradition, this legislative body is justly proud to commend the Rouses Point Knights of Columbus Council 2366 upon the occasion of its 100th anniversary of service to the church and community. And whereas established in 1882 by the Reverend Father Michael Joseph McGivney, for the purpose of giving financial assistance to widows and children. The Knights of Columbus is a Catholic men's fraternal benefit society with approximately 2 million members located in over 14,000 councils throughout the world. And whereas more than 100 years ago, a group of 105 gentlemen from the communities of Rouses Point, Champlain, Coopersville, Chazy, Moores, Albert, Vermont, and Lacole, Quebec, gathered in the village of Rouses Point, expressing an interest in the order and the need of a meeting place. And whereas these gentlemen formed the Club for Knights, and a charter was sought and granted, resulting in the birth of Rouses Point Knights of Columbus Council 2366 on April 2nd, 1922. And whereas, and so effectively carrying out its mission, the Rouses Point Knights of Columbus Council 2366 has demonstrated the value in fostering camaraderie and a shared vision of community service. This mission is indicative of a noble organization which epitomizes the heart and soul of what it means to be an American. And whereas, since its inception, the members have dedicated themselves to the ideals of charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Clinton County Legislature pauses in its deliberations and commemorates the 100th anniversary of Rouses Point Knights of Columbus Council 2366 and extends its congratulations to all members in such a memorable event. And whereas it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution suitably engrossed be transmitted to the Rouses Point Knights of Columbus 2366, and it was certified, it was done on March 9th, so it's still fresh, gentlemen.
This is accepted on behalf of every single member, present and past, of Council 2366. Thank you.
Thank you, Calvin. Now I call upon representing the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rouses Point, Trustee Ben Arnold.
I voted for him, but he didn't pay me.
Resolution 2022-8, Village of Rouses Point. Whereas more than 100 years ago, a group of 105 Colombian members from various areas were gathered in the village of Rouses Point to express the interest of an order and the need for a meeting room. And whereas these gentlemen formed a club of knights only, and a charter was sought and gathered, resulting in the birth of the Rouses Point Knights of Columbus, number 2366, April 2nd, 1922. And whereas of August 13th, 1925, it was moved that the money be set aside for a building fund on May 28, 1930, and the lot of which the present St. Patrick's Parish Center now stands. And whereas though the hard work and efforts of many knights and the building fund grew, and in 1952 the members of the Council 2366 established a building committee whereby plans were formulated and the erection of a new home in 1953. Original council rooms were vacated and a formal dedication ceremony at the new buildings were held on November 8, 1951. Whereas the council rooms have served in many locations, activities, and many civic organizations and various celebrations. And whereas Council 2366 has grown and prospered to 100 years, and whereas the official members of the family of the Rouses Point Council 2366 has been and dedicated to the family and the life and leading assistance to the less fortunate of the community, and whereas the members have dedicated themselves to the ideal of charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism. Therefore, let it be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rouses Point salute Council 2366 on its 100-year anniversary. And the resolution was passed. Mayor Jed Throne, aye. Trustee Brian Palkey, aye. Trustee Dale Menard, aye. Trustee John Rodriguez, aye. Trustee Benjamin Arnold, aye. Certified to be original copy by Christopher Lattimore, Village Administrator and Clerk, May 7th, 2022.
Again, on behalf of Council 2366, both past, deceased, and present members, thank you.
Thank you, Ben. At this time, I'd like to call upon the Chairman of the Board of District Deputies, Don Record.
Thank you. I'll get this where you can hear me. Just so you know, the Knights of Columbus actually has 1,800 members in the country of Ukraine and 3,500 members in Poland. And the Polish members are delivering goods and supplies to the immigrants or the people leaving Ukraine seeking sanctuary on a regular basis. And the Knights of Columbus has started a solidarity fund drive for Ukraine. And every penny that is donated by a Knight of Columbus Council to Ukraine gets doubled by the Knights of Columbus. And there is 100% of your donation goes towards that cause. So that's something that the Knights are doing to show the people. I was asked by State Deputy Charlie Esposito to present to the Knights of Columbus in Rouses Point, New York, a letter from the Supreme Knight for this 100th anniversary. It says, to the officers, members, and families of Rouses Point Council 2366, it is with a great sense of gratitude that I write on behalf of the Supreme officers and members of the Board of Directors to extend greetings and best wishes to Rouses Point Council 2366 as you celebrate your 100th anniversary. When Blessed Michael McGivney founded the Knights of Columbus in 1882, his hope was that Catholic laymen coming together in a common cause would strengthen the church, promote and protect Catholic family life, and offer assistance to the less fortunate. Through such actions, not only would the direct recipients of our charity benefit, but also the order itself would grow stronger. Your council and the thousands of others throughout North America, in Europe and in Asia, all bear witness to the timeliness of Father McGivney's vision. His vision is our mission, and it is needed now more than ever. On this important anniversary, I encourage each one of you to rededicate yourselves to your families and the teachings of Jesus Christ and His Holy Catholic Church. May you always exemplify the order's principles of charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism, held so dear by the Knights who chartered your council 100 years ago and sustained it ever since. Now the future is in your hands. Be assured of my prayers for the continued growth and success of your council as you put our faith into action. May Our Lady of Guadalupe and the Blessed Michael McGivney guide and bring success to all your endeavors. With best wishes and regards, I am fraternally Patrick E. Kelly, Supreme Knight. This certificate is presented to members of Rouses Point Council 2366 in grateful recognition of 100 years of service to our orders, principles of charity, unity, and fraternity, and patriotism on behalf of the Holy Mother Church. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don. I know you do a lot for the Northern Conference, and this is a blessing that you presented it. So thank you very much on behalf of Council 2366.
At this time, I'd like to recognize our District Deputy, Thomas Trombley.
First of all, I want to thank you for having me here, and I want to present a resolution to recognize the 100th anniversary of Knights of Columbus Rouses Point Council 2366. Whereas District 99 takes great pleasure in paying tribute to the dedicated brother knights of Council 2366, who, through their hard work and dedication, have stood the test of time to serve as examples for present and future Knights of Columbus. And whereas the Rouses Point Council 2366 was chartered on April 2nd, 1922, and whereas the membership then was comprised of Catholic gentlemen from Rouses Point, New York, Champlain, New York, Moores, New York, Morris Forks, New York, and Lacole, Quebec. And I add Coopersville because I believe that was also added earlier. And whereas the first Grand Knight, Thomas A. Saburin, and Deputy Grand Knight, George Rivers. George, I didn't know you're that old. God bless you. Led the first council officers to begin their years of charitable works. And whereas this council endured the Great Depression, World War II, and many other difficult times for our nation, including the ice storm of '98, where they opened their hall as an emergency shelter. And whereas during these 100 years of service to community, church, and brotherhood, Council 2366 has exemplified the order of the Knights of Columbus. And be it therefore resolved that District 99, comprised of Councils 2366, 3525, 4441, and 6136, go on record extending their sincere expression of congratulations and blessings for the Rouses Point Council's 100 years of service. And it is further resolved that this resolution is adopted by District 99 on the 26th day of March, 2022. And we have from District 99, we have a small gift here for the council to use towards your charitable works and for your costs of your celebration. We'll do it.
Thank you. And Tom, I'd like to thank you for your past, 3 years, I believe, as district deputy. We're gonna miss you, but we know we have a good man coming in behind you, but
We do.
like I say, your shoes are gonna be hard to fill.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, worthy DD. At this time, I call upon our treasurer, and past Grand Knight, William Irwin Jr., for a couple of presentations.
Just a bit of a spoiler alert. I'm going to give you a clue how this is going to end. But I have Steve Barkle come up front. And Claude. I can have you come up front as well. While they're on their way up, Claude asked us at this last meeting that if we could form a committee and select a Knight of the Year and an Officer of the Year. It's something that we haven't done in a long time because we just haven't had dinners like this in quite some time. And Bob Gatto and I raised our hands and Claude said, good, we have a committee. So Bob and I met for our committee meeting and it kind of went like this. I said, well, this is what I'm thinking, Bob. How about you? He says, I'm thinking exactly the same thing. Okay, meeting adjourned. These two gentlemen have been more than just the Knight of the Year or the Officer of the Year for this council. Over the last 10 years, probably. They deserve a lot of credit for getting us to where we are tonight. Steve, 8 years as Grand Knight. That's a long time in that office. I did it for 3. That was enough for me for a while. He served, honorably, and he was dedicated to it, and couldn't be more proud of him. And Claude, when Steve just said, that's it, I can't do it anymore, you took this council, you put it on your shoulder for this last year. And, you know, in addition to all the years you were financial secretary, you know, that's a lot of work, both of those jobs. And this year, Claude took that on. He spearheaded our most successful charitable development program this year, and it's the most successful one in years. He also spearheaded this. He was up front so we could all be here tonight celebrating this. And I wanted them up here because they deserve to be seen. But like this for Knight of the Year, or excuse me, Officer of the Year, but really, you know, Knight of the Decade.
That means a lot, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your dedication and service. Thank you.
Get you too.
Get him out of the corner.
Get him out of the corner.
Yeah, he was hiding behind this one.
These are just a token of our gratitude. There are some gift certificates to Casa Capitano for a nice meal out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Without fun. That's for sure. Thanks.
I'd like to thank Bill and Bob for their hard work and good selections. Congratulations to our officer, Knight of the Year. Does anybody else would like to have any remarks or anything before we close? An audience, a few words. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. Like Claude said, you know, he was harping on us to do something, but we had a hard time because we didn't know with the pandemic or anything if we were going to be able to hold something like this. But thank God he allowed us to do this. So it's been a long time since we've gathered at a dinner as a council, and to be the 100th anniversary is great. Once again, I'd like to thank Courtney and her crew for a delicious dinner. I would like to thank anyone who helped make this occasion memorable, to the workers, to the officers who helped get things done that go unsaid. And
Thank the councils of the district. We had 100% participation from each council.
One thing I'd like to also thank is members of our district. We have Council 2366. We have Council 3525 from Champlain, Council 4441 from Ellenberg, and Council 6136 from Moores. It's nice when a district gets together and you have 100% participation from your councils within your district. I appreciate that, and I thank you all for being here. Thank you.
thank you, Worthy GK. Once again, everyone, thank you again for coming, and thank you for have a nice evening. And at this time, please stand while the rules will give the benediction.
Let us pray. O loving God, we have shared a wonderful evening together, sprinkled with wonderful food and drink. Many memories of the past 100 years of the Knights of Columbus Council 2366 have been presented to us both in thought and speech. We have no other thoughts than a thanksgiving to you and to request for your blessing upon all of us. We seek your blessing again upon the Knights of Columbus in our country and world, especially Council 2366. We ask you to bless all of us here present tonight and keep us faithful to your values and the values of the Knights of Columbus. May this organization shine forth to help lead our church, which your son founded, and help us all to live your values. Without you, we are nothing. Bless us in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Everyone have a nice evening.